Hey, how's everybody doing? This is Artie Astor from B Sharp and C. So I'm going to react to something that I'm actually dying to see. It's been out for a few years and I haven't reacted to it. Shame on me. It's by my favorite musician of all time, David Gilmour. It's actually David Gilmour live at Pompeii doing the song Sorrow. And, it's a pretty long live performance. It's over 10 minutes. The sun is coming in and it's going to hit the camera in a few seconds. And I don't have blinds for this window yet. So I'm hoping to get this done within that time. Also, up in the corner, you are going to see a little thing come out and say Artie's new song. That is my new single. But without further ado, let's give it a listen. Oh, I just love it already. Yeah. Pink Floyd, baby. A lot of people recording. I mean, I probably would too. Great Remy bar action. He uses that Remy bar a lot on a lot of his songs. I love that bass line right there. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
The sweet smell of great sorrow rise over the land. Blooms of smoke rise, emerging to the leaden sky. A man lies and dreams of green fields and rivers, but awakes to a morning with no reason for waking. He's haunted by the memory of a lost paradise. In his youth or dream, he can't be precise. He's chained forever to a world that's departed.
All right, I just gotta stop it real quick. I remember when this song came out. I think it was '88 when "Momentary Lapse of Reason" came out, and I remember hearing the song on the radio. I remember hearing it somewhere, maybe at a friend's house or something, and I remember thinking, "Who's this new band? They have such an incredible sound. It's like a new genre. It's so different. What is this?" And then to realize that it was actually Pink Floyd. Because this doesn't really sound like any Floyd from before this. Of course, this was not a Roger Waters driven song, um, but the whole approach is different. The whole Momentary Lapse of Reason album, they kept that Pink Floyd, seasoning where they approach things in a more progressive, psychedelic rock type of approach. But they just didn't have Roger Waters at the helm. And what they came up with in and of itself was completely amazing. Every song on that album is amazing. No, Roger Waters wasn't involved, but every song on that album is amazing. And they tried their best to keep true to the Pink Floyd sound. But yeah, this definitely, you can almost tell this is like Pink Floyd in the 80s. It's very, very different. I think the final cut was 83 and then Roger Waters left. I could be wrong on the years. This is a cold reaction. I didn't do any research ahead of time. Um, but yeah, you got Guy Pratt on the bass. I don't know if Guy Pratt was with them in '88 or if he joined them in '94, but if he was with them in '88, that means he wrote that bass line. And I just really like the bass line. I don't know when Guy Pratt joined the band. He might have been on the roster for Momentary Lapse of Reason. You know what? Let me research that. When did Guy Pratt joined Pink Floyd? 1987, so you have to really think about it. And he was the bass player for Momentary Lapse of Reason. Played bass for the Momentary Lapse of Reason tour. Guy Pratt initially brought in by David Gilmour to play bass for the Momentary Lapse of Reason tour. So it didn't say he was in the studio for Momentary Lapse of Reason, so he might not have actually written that bass line. That's extra research that I will have to do. If you know who wrote that bass line or who did the bass for the studio album of Momentary Lapse of Reason, put it in the comment section below. But yeah, so he joined in 1987, which must mean Momentary Lapse of Reason was not 88. Momentary Lapse of Reason studio album. 87. Okay, so the album was 87. So that might have been okay. Wait, now I'm curious. Who played bass for Momentary Lapse of Reason? Tony Levin played the majority of the bass guitar and Chapman's stick on Pink Floyd's 1987 album A Momentary Lapse of Reason, while Roger Waters had departed from the band. So I think it was 83 they did the final cut. So they just allowed 4 years to pass before they did another album without Roger Waters. But yeah. Anyways, let's go back to the song.
Fright, his knees have trembled and given way in the night. His hand is weaker at the moment of truth. His step has faltered.
This is so Pink Floyd right here. And I love this part. Ready? How are they going to do this? You get two keyboard players up there. Like, what was that? When you really stop and break that down, not a lot of songs do that. You know, they have a verse and a chorus, verse, and then just some weird musical interlude that's very psychedelic and more effects and, instruments with all these weird effects on it. And then it goes right back to the song. Which sounds like it's a half step up. It sounds like a key change, but I could be wrong. I don't have the best ear. I do have a pretty good ear. It's not the best, but that sounds like they went up a half step.
Swell invitation, flow dark and trouble to an oily sea, a grim intimation of what is to be.
Nice.
There's an unceasing wind that blows through this night, and there's dust in my eyes that blinds my sight, and there's a silence
So good.
so much louder than words of promises broken.
I love how he stops right there. Man, you don't get guitar solos like this anymore. It's so good. You gotta bring it to an end. Still a minute left. Wow. Man. Really digging into that deep, high gain, high distortion sound. those low notes on the guitar. Wow. That's just really something. All right, so I'll wrap up this video just by saying a couple things. First of all, that was awesome. It wasn't obviously it was different from the studio version. I believe the studio version had during that instrumental breakdown, it was a little bit different. But that's really hard to replicate live. But they did an excellent job here. And something that I love about David Gilmour. Now, I need to preface this by saying that I have been a gigantic. He's like my favorite guitar player, my favorite soloist, one of my favorite songwriters when it comes to actual music composition. He doesn't write a lot of lyrics, but when he does a great job. Um, Coming from a huge David Gilmour fan, I've loved watching this man age. You know, I think he's like in his early 80s now, and he continues to work hard on music, and in his mind, the songwriting capabilities that he has, it seems like they haven't gone down. He continues to create. What I have noticed, which I actually like watching, and I know it's going to sound a little weird, but because he's a very slow melodic player, every note is very tactile. Every note is important to him. He doesn't shred, and he admits even if he tried, he really couldn't shred. But he puts a lot of work and emphasis onto guitar solos to the point where the listeners are hanging on to every note because they have every note of the guitar solo memorized. As he's aged, because he needs to be so precise and so just spot on, and because every move of his finger is so deliberate, as he's aged, you can hear the difference in his playing. There are times when it comes across as um, that maybe he missed a string or whatever the case is, and it's only because every note that the guy plays is very deliberately played, whether it's a bend, whether it's a pinched harmonic, which sometimes he does by accident because of the way he holds the pick. Um, whether he's doing something else or he's doing some type of overtones or whatever, you hear how over the years you realize that you need to be precise when you play like David Gilmour does. All those decades that he was playing, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and in the early 2000s, I never really noticed anything until the late 2000 teens, early 2020s when I hear him play. I can see that age has affected him a little bit. But I actually like the fact that he just goes out there and plays anyways, independent of the fact that there's going to be moments where he's not able to do certain things because of simply because of advanced age, things he can't do now that he was able to do with ease in his 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s. And I actually enjoy watching him do that because he doesn't care. He just goes out there and plays this music because it is so deep in his heart, and it still comes out sounding marvelous. It's perfect. But I like how the music has kind of aged with him, and I like how he's out there still doing all that he possibly can. It's just, I don't know. For someone like me who got started, I mean, I've been doing music since I was really young, but I took a big break. And now in my 40s, I'm getting back into music, to songwriting and playing and everything else. And I'm approaching 50. And it's nice to see that age is just a number. If you have the ability to play an instrument and you have the ability to create, do it. Imperfections aren't really imperfect. It's part of the human experience. So I love seeing him continue to go out and play. I love seeing him do stuff like this. Anyways, let me know what you think of his performance in the comment section below. And don't forget to listen to my new single. It'll pop up around here somewhere. Anyways, this is Artie from B Sharp and C. Take it easy.